Hi, everyone. My name is Pavlo Haidamak. It's a huge honor for me to be here because it's my first ever English-speaking keynote, and it's in UK, where it's the best place to talk English. So, for the past 7 years, I've been working at MacPaw. It's a Ukrainian company with a headquarters in Kyiv, and yes, there is a Kyiv behind the pin. We develop Mac and iOS products. Every fifth Mac in the world has some MacPaw product installed on it. So yeah, we are really proud of our company and our products. So I started my journey with MacPaw in Gemini 2 product. It's duplicate finder, so my job was to be like QA, not only to be, but to do QA job. And we were constantly improving the algorithms of duplicate finder. After that, I became product manager of SetApp. It's a first ever subscription app store for Mac and iOS. And this is the place where I learned a lot how to manage large teams and how to constantly look and test new ideas. That's what prompted me to take a part in the creation of MacPaw, first technological research and development department, where we studied new technologies and were creating prototypes for our new products or new ideas. During the first month of the full-scale war, we created completely from scratch new product and attracted 30,000 of new customers during 1 week. So today, I'm product manager of CleanMyMac. What a journey in one company, right? Like, this is the last one, I promise. I'm product manager at CleanMyMac. It's biggest product of MacPaw and leader of Mac cleaners market. And I love creating products, especially the products people love. And I truly believe that successful products and services, they put their customers on the first place. For my work, I have inspiration in oil painting and in my little adopted Chihuahua. Her name is Loretta. She constantly thinks that she's a cat, but I'm okay with that. That's fine. So, for the next 20 minutes, I want to share with you my story that has taught me the hard way, very useful lessons, how to continue to provide quality of your products, services, even when you are forced to make unpopular changes or, for example, if you have a war. So the story begins, as you can guess, in the February 2022. At that time, each MacPaw product had its own backlog, roadmap, nice future plans. We were constantly releasing updates for our software, building new products. More than 10 million users around the world were enjoying our high-quality products. And we were just living our life and making plans for the future. In the early morning of 21st February, the whole country woke up, but not to go to the work or to the school. We woke up because of the sound of explosions that kept coming, and there was panic, fear. It was no longer the life we were used to, and now the main task of each Ukrainian was to save their life. And in terms of our company, there is also was like some preparation because we were like feeling in the air this very awful smell of the war. And we had a plan how we will act if the war will start. So basically you will see like 3 scenarios and what action plans. You can take a picture of it. It's no more NDA. So, when you have a war, sometimes the best thing you can do is to do nothing at all, surprisingly. So we decided to stop any further development of new products, new updates. We put our business in a support mode to support our existing customers. We stopped like all new campaigns. And our office turned into a humanitarian aid center where we will like preparing everything we can do for people who are suffering from the war and for our military guys who needed something. I wouldn't say so. So in addition of missile attacks and occupation of Ukrainian territories, our country has faced massive cyber attacks. It wouldn't something you would expect when you have rockets above your head, but both public and private infrastructure were targeted. And for us, it became very clear that we can't stay the same company we were before the war, when our products were sold everywhere, even in Russia. And now we had to make some changes, to take some actions, and to do everything we can do to avoid losing users who actually had like a lot of belief in us, but now they can lose confidence because they're using products of the company in the epicenter of the war. So the first thing we did, we worked with our customers' needs and experience, what was important to them, and we put ourselves in their shoes. We tried to understand how their user experience would be affected by the war, knowing that the authors of their apps in Ukraine, and they just keep paying money for the service and with uncertain future. And our main hypothesis was that trust in our products will disappear due to the risks that the data of our users may be leaked to the third party, especially in our case, Russian hackers from Russia. And this hypothesis was quickly confirmed because we went through all these support tickets from our customers, and the main question they were asking that what we are doing to keep our team safe and the product infrastructure safe. At that time, our infrastructure already was distributed in the cloud outside of the Ukraine and not in Russia, so it was the question easy to answer. But we know that behind each support call, there's like at least 120 more customers who have the same problem or concern, but they never write you about this. And having thousands of people asking the same question, we know that there's like even more people, and we need to act like for the whole audience to communicate to all of them. As a next step, we launched a media campaign. It was like in social media, blog, emails, and to like our customer who was subscribed. We put banners in all of our products. We told them that MacPo is a Ukrainian company and that our country has been under military invasion and cyber attacks. And now our main priority is to save our lives and the health of employees and the stable operation of our products. We explained in detail where our infrastructure is located, provided evidence that each of our products is in compliance with modern security standards. And after that, surprisingly, we had even more calls and support tickets, but instead of worries and questions, people started to support us and asking more about how they can actually support our fight, how they can help financially to our company and Ukraine in this fight for freedom. The second stage was make our customers our advocates, so they will be in coalition with us during all these changes and new stuff we were doing. To do this, it's very important to communicate with your customers very transparently. What are you going to do? Why you need to do these changes? Explain every step if it's important to understand. And when do you plan this to be released? As an example, as I mentioned before, our products were sold in Russia, and for moral and security reasons, we decided to stop sales there in this territory and cancel the subscription of the existing customers. And although many users from Russia support the war, as my relatives there is a still part of audience which against it, or expats from other countries who live and work in Russia. So this decision wasn't that easy for us, but although it was necessary, because receiving money from terrorist country is unacceptable and could make some even more problems. So to reduce risks for our products and our customers, we decided to stop this, and before implementing these changes, we described them for our customers. We explained how each sold license impacts us in Ukraine. So it's very important for us to stop it. And we also was removing Russian localization. So a lot of people are using Russian localization outside of Russia, and so it will impact customers even if they're not Russians. And we explained that in the way that we want to reduce the risk, and especially it was important that minimize the risks that our products would be used against us. For example, ClearVPN, it's our VPN service which can be used during cyber attacks into Ukrainian infrastructure. Again, after this communication, instead of dissatisfaction, we received a lot of words of support. Some users started to buy even more licenses for their family, friends, or colleagues. And this showed us that actually they wouldn't lose trust in our brand and our products. Instead, now they believe us even more because of this transparency. Of course, there was some dissatisfaction from affected customers, some part, especially from Russia, especially when you cancel their subscription. But it was a price it was very easy to pay this price for us comparing what we went through. Finally, an important part of our emergency mode was the prioritization of roadmap and backlog. Actually, it's not actually prioritization because, as I mentioned, before the war we had backlogs and roadmaps, and after the start, it doesn't make any sense. Now we started to live new lives, and we need to build everything from scratch. So on the one hand, we had functionality our users were waiting, they were looking forward to, and on the other hand, we need to help the country fight the enemy, right? And the best thing IT people can help fight the enemy is to create some new products. And that's why we changed our priorities and put the needs of those who were suffering from the war, especially their digital security thing. We decided to help them, but also not to forget about customers outside of Ukraine who actually they don't have such huge problem. So as an example, one of my colleagues asked in a Slack, is there any way to detect that my software on my Mac somehow in some way connected to Russia? Like, it's not always obvious who is behind the app, where is infrastructure, who is the owner, who is developer, and stuff like that. So we did a quick research, and there wasn't any solutions on the market. And we realized that we can try to make a prototype, which later became a SpyBuster application. And during the office testing, we find out that every second Mac of our colleagues had Russian software in any way. So, and it was like second or third day of the war. So we saw other problem that it's not only about applications, it's also about traffic. At that time, in Ukrainian media, was very popular opinion that everyone must cut their ties with Russia, especially digital one, because it's not obvious how easy we can share important data to the enemy. And all these opinions were published in our media, and we find out that almost everyone, like every media, were using some tools and services from Russia for analytics, like ads, tracking and stuff like that, mostly marketing. And it was funny because they were asking to cut ties, and at the same time they were using it. So we decided that we must add also this network traffic, monitor, especially like this Russian network monitor. And here it is. This is the SpyBuster. You get it right, Russian doll. SpyBuster. And the entire product, it's in some way it's simple in terms of user interface, but in terms of logic, it's a bit complex. And the entire product was created in 1 month. In the first months of the war, my team were hiding in the bomb shells, in the bathrooms, and working from those places. And despite of these changes of priorities of our country, of our company, we saw that customers actually who were outside of Ukraine, they were actually supporting in this decision, and they started acquiring our new product, which was firstly developed for Ukrainians, right? And during first week we had 30,000 customers without any advertisement, it was zero budget application, and most of them actually from Europe and the United States. If you have some radical changes coming into your roadmap, don't hesitate to make them, but always remember about your customers' existing one, because if you wouldn't do this, sometimes you can lose your business, which will upset your customers even more. So, in general, this story taught me about be more patient and listen our customers, even when you have other stuff to do, right, in your life, but always to listen them and realize what they need to, in future, to use this knowledge to prioritize your needs. Also, when you do your customers, when you turn them into your partners, it's very easy to do something unpopular when you have a support instead of this how to say it? What's the instead of support? Unsupport, okay. Let's go this way. Yeah, never hesitate to do radical changes. Never, don't be fear of them. Just go and try. And in summary, to keep your customers satisfied, it's like you always should keep balance between understanding your customers, determination, and communication with them. And yeah, if you want, we can stay in touch in LinkedIn, in Twitter. Also, I want to make sure you know about the existence of Nintendo Lego. It's crazy, right? And you can be the owner of this thing. Just scan it and put all your credit cards, passwords, and yes. And it's traditional, right, to say thank you to your listeners, but today I want to say much bigger thank you, because it's not only from myself or from my company, it's from a 40 million people country. And please have a look.
Not so long ago, my life was rather ordinary. Waking up much too early, a cup of coffee, better kitty goodbye for the day. All of these may seem familiar to you, prosaic, yet I loved every minute of it. However, now I know parallel realities exist simultaneously in our world. Not far from where you peacefully laid your head down to sleep each night, while I was terrified of so many things. But you were there for me. You greeted us, offered food and clothes, took care of our injured kids and even pets. You donate, protect our rights and restore our home. For saving our lives and dignity, we say дякую.
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 Tell дякую to those who responded to our call for help, shed light, and celebrate their contribution with us.
Дякую.
Thanks, Pavlo. Before we take questions, I just want to say I can't tell you how pleased we are that you are with us this year. Obviously, MacPaul was supposed to be with us last year, but in March, but for obvious reasons, couldn't join us. So thank you so much for making the effort, and we are right behind you. Yeah, so
Thank you.
Thanks. Right, anybody got any questions or any comments? Stunned silence.
They're busy with Nintendo. There's
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Дякую.